Hey everyone! Today, Anime Rush is thrilled to introduce you to a truly outrageous story about a rather chunky young man named Yoshioka Shigeru. This guy is famous throughout his village for, well, his ugliness. And ironically, that's the only thing he's actually proud of. Shigeru's life is a bit of a tragic comedy. When his sales job was on the line, meaning starvation was a real threat, he just had to cling to it. And let's be honest, with a face that's not exactly hot boy material, what woman would even give him a second glance? Then one day, wouldn't you know it, he's carrying his groceries, minding his own business, when on the train, some woman suddenly slaps him with the nickname pervert. Just like that, he's caught in a whirlwind of false accusations, dragged to court, fined, and then his evil company fires this dedicated employee. Years later, the beach who framed him gets arrested for fraud. But Shigeru's reputation, forget it. Even the Indus River couldn't wash away his injustice. The very face he once took pride in now felt like a curse. Ever since he was scorned, he practically stopped interacting with the outside world, turning into a recluse, locking himself indoors for 6 years, just eating and destroying everything. Amidst this mental meltdown, Shigeru just wanted to vanish. He went online, searching for ways to reincarnate. Someone told him, "If you turn your computer north at 2 a.m., open your window and raise both hands to the sky, you'll be reincarnated." Well, might as well try it once, right? Suddenly, his laptop background changed and asked if he'd accept the challenge. At this point, not going through with it would be like a gamer being afraid of a little rain, so he said, "Okay." The most important part was the stat adjustment. Since he was already used to being ugly, he decided to go for a whopping 255 points in appearance. And guess what? It worked out. His other stats got boosted by an incredible 13,000 points. Where people usually list their strengths, this guy listed all his weaknesses, like doesn't touch women or reduces money-making efficiency. And the server just kept adding hundreds of billions of bonus points. But oh no, before he could even apply those points, his character creation time ran out. So let's dive into this new world, big guy. Waking up in a cute little bed, he immediately thought, "Oh my god, what kind of terrible graphics are these? I'm so ugly." With 255 points in appearance, even a Buddha showing up couldn't save this level of despair. While still reeling, a handsome young man and 2 beautiful girls in just shirts appeared beside him. Seeing the dashing guy gallantly offer his jacket to the blonde girl, our big guy tried to imitate him, offering his cloak to the purple-haired beauty. But that little brat discriminated against ugly people and wouldn't even take it, leaving him utterly embarrassed. The handsome guy introduced himself as Seiji, then the purple-haired girl as Sika. Only the blonde loli didn't open her mouth. The whole group was 16 years old, and all found the online post about reincarnation to this world. So, from now on, they'd embark on their second lives together here. But our big guy had no intention of befriending anyone, so he sneaked off to loot stuff, and what do you know, it was a bust. Because of his reduced money-making efficiency, touching gold coins just made them vanish into thin air. Before he could explore more, Seiji approached and invited him to share the loot. He thought these crop tops and short shorts wouldn't fit, but somehow they looked surprisingly good on him. When it came to splitting the money, there were 4 people, but inexplicably only 7 coins on the table. So naturally, everyone suspected the big guy. And it's true, he did make them disappear, but you can't just accuse someone of being a criminal out of nowhere, right? So Shigeru retorted that he didn't need money, and everyone should just take it. The purple-haired Seika gobbled it up quickly, and then she even insulted him, saying he was too busy looking at the girls' hot bodies instead of focusing on searching, so that is what he gets. Shigeru just threw up his hands at this discrimination. He just wanted to grab the axe over there. The handsome Seiji told him, whoa, don't show off too much. You might not even be able to lift it and end up embarrassing yourself." He confessed that, "Before I was bad at communicating and acted on impulse, bothering those around me, so I want to fix that with this chance at a new life." Despite being handsome, his words were super harsh when he implied our big guy was probably also bad at communicating. So he had to listen to this wise ass play rock, paper, scissors with the lame ducks and ended up with a wooden staff no one else wanted. "Fine, whatever, because I only like solo survival anyway, so I'll use whatever I can get." But then this noisy bunch insisted he go with them to the nearest town, Iria. So he grudgingly agreed, planning to bail halfway there. But don't think getting there would be easy. The moment they opened the door, a swarm of imps swarmed out, blocking their way. Seiji quickly chopped down the first one and ordered the melee fighters to the front line, with Seika providing support from behind with her bow. The only problem was that know-it-all purple-haired girl chose the bow first, but she was so clueless who was going to carry her. Shigeru was assigned to support her, but he was scoffed at and told to get out of the way, leaving him flustered and unsure who to help. Suddenly, a club came flying, hitting his butt. "Ha-ha! My hands were itching for a fight, and here's my first prey. Behold my ultimate power of 1,000,000,000,000 points." But he was surprisingly weak, and even got knocked down by an imp. Well, it made sense. He hadn't even had time to add any points then, so he just used all his might and swung wildly. After just defeating one, his level shot up to 31. All thanks to his note that said, "Killing monsters increases level super fast." Luckily, those trillions of points he hadn't distributed were still there, so he just slammed them into all his strength stats. As soon as he finished, a brilliant aura erupted. Our weak country bumpkin had achieved the title of Supreme God. Now, those imps that beat him up earlier were like mosquito bites to a rhino. Aha, who bullied me just now? Now face my ultimate flick technique. One try, and that imp flew into the sky. A hurricane erupted after just a gentle flick from the western big guy. Turning back, the purple-haired Seika was struggling to pull her bow, tears welling up because her friends had farmed experience like crazy, and she still hadn't finished her beginner quest. Shigeru pretended to have a bowstring tension disorder and made a constipated face to beg to help her. He claimed the bow was speaking directly into his head, saying, "Help me string this thing, buddy." Seika thought he was about to poop his pants, so she flusteredly handed it to the old man. Thanks to his extensive survival clip viewing and 1,000,000,000,000 points in dexterity, this was as easy as pie. Seika, seeing how amazing he was, gave him an arrow and said, "Try it out." Although he initially refused, the girl wanted him to show off, so he just had to perform and blow their minds. At the same time, he tested his newly learned ultimate skill. As soon as he let it fly, the arrow shot into the sky, making him think he'd never used it before because it was off by kilometers. But look! From the sky, a barrier opened and a dragon god descended, obliterating all the imps. The friends were like, What just happened? Shigeru tried to play it off. Must have been a lucky shot. The Dragon King just happened to pass by, and the arrow hit his dragon fruit. But don't celebrate too soon, because the enemies were creeping back. So Seika quickly rushed forward, saying, "Let me handle this." A volley of arrows rained down, blinding the imps, because none of them actually hit. So Seiji and the blonde lolly just had to fend for themselves and charge forward. Seika, realizing her shortcomings, sat in a corner, grey with despair, calling herself useless. Seeing the beautiful girl lose heart, Shigeru decided to help her again, using his skill to create arrows from dry branches and bringing them to her, saying, "There's an item drop." Only problem was, there was no saving this woman. As soon as she picked them up, she started firing them off like rain again. After a struggle, these useless guys finally defeated all the imps to get to town, so Shigeru had to follow them. As soon as they arrived, the noisy bunch rushed into a hamburger shop. Shigeru wasn't interested, so he said, "Goodbye, you 3 losers." But after walking a bit to the fountain, our friend was starving, wondering if there was anything to eat, when suddenly a cat approached. He was about to pet it, but remembered that touching females halves his health, so he quickly pulled his hand back. While he was fumbling, Seika scared him, making him fall backward into the pond. Turns out she was being kind, bringing him a hamburger to thank him for stringing her bow earlier. Well, he was hungry, so he took it, but accidentally, or perhaps intentionally, he touched her hand. Then a jolt of electricity from Cambodia flashed, sending the old man flying and scattering the hamburger. This damage could probably destroy over 300 Earths. While trembling in fear because that woman was so evil, their embarrassed eyes met, and Seika was about to cry because her gift to this old man was tragically wasted. With the professional skill of an excellent salesman, Shigeru immediately showed his sincerity by praising her, saying she was so beautiful that she made his hands and feet tremble. Seika stopped him, saying she would give him her meal and apologized. "Because I'm too beautiful and made you miss a beat." She also thanked him for not only helping her string her bow, but also finding the arrow and secretly giving it to her. Shigeru heard these words and realized this dainty girl was actually understanding, so he thanked her and devoured the hamburger. "Well, I owe her now, so I'll put soloing aside until I can repay her." So the journey with this noisy bunch continues with our Western big guy, Shigeru. Will he be able to carry them? You'll have to find out later, so don't miss the most exciting developments in the overpowered big guy carrying his harem of troublemakers. And make sure to like and subscribe to Anime Rush.